Why do we get nervous before games? Why do professionals still get nervous before games? Why does a tour pro golfer get nervous making a 3-foot putt on the 18th green to win the championship, even when he's made that same putt 1,000 times before? The reason is meaning. When we ascribe meaning to things, we care about them. The more meaning we ascribe, the more we care. The more we care, the more emotions come with it. And the more emotions that come with it, the more nervous we get. This is very simply understood. And this is why people pay millions of dollars for sports psychologists and coaches to teach them how to deal with the nerves, to deal with the emotions, to calm the mind, to quiet the voice, to be able to focus more and reach the zone. The entire sports psychology industry is predicated on finding the best practice to overcome this mental barrier so that we can perform at our best. Those who have the best tactics for doing so, well, seem to perform that little bit better. But what if we're asking fundamentally the wrong question? What if instead of asking how do we get rid of or better handle nerves, why don't we ask ourselves why do we get nervous in the first place? Why do we have to get nervous at all? Why does there need to be anything to deal with? Now, it must be said, we are the ones who assign meaning. There is zero intrinsic meaning to a result of any kind. To winning, to performing, we are the ones who assign meaning to it. It is in our own mind. Now, when something is meaningful, it becomes work, it becomes stressful, it becomes something that you must train for and work hard for. But when something is meaningless, it becomes play. But let's switch gears for a moment. So we know from sports psychology that the main symptom of the zone is losing a sense of self. But due to pop culture and the self-help industry and all that, we believe this means being mindful, as in fully immersing yourself in the moment, trying to focus all of your attention on what you're doing so that you can quiet your mind to the point where it feels like you're focused and you've lost your sense of self. But the truth is we don't lose our sense of self when the mind is quiet. We lose our sense of self when the mind disappears altogether. This is because it's your conscious mind that's responsible for your awareness of yourself and the world around you and how they relate to each other. So the only way to lose the sense of self is for the mind to disappear altogether. And this is a state called no mind. Now, a state of no mind is not something that you can just cultivate. There's no method or technique. But if we revert back to meaning, we might just find an answer. So when we work and we assign meaning, like we do in sports and business, to wins, to the money, to the result, we care, we feel emotions, we think, and we get in our own way. Now think about when we play, when we're just doing it for the love of it, not for training, not to get better, not to be in the process, not to achieve something, but just play. We assign no meaning whatsoever, and yet we find ourselves in this state of no mind. We're not thinking about it. We're not even really aware of what we're doing. We're certainly not thinking about our technique or how our bodies are moving. We're not trying to focus. We're just doing. We're just playing. So there's a few dots to join here, but this is how we learn. When something is meaningless, it becomes play. When it becomes play, we achieve a state of no mind. And when we achieve a state of no mind, we have full access to our abilities, where we would normally be limited by our conscious thought, feelings, and sense of self. So I will not tell you what to do, for if you simply go off to your next game or your next performance and you say, oh, well, this means nothing, I don't care at all, it won't work because it won't be genuine. You must come to a genuine realization on your own. You must sit down and ask yourself, why do I get nervous in the first place? Why do I assign meaning to this result? And ask yourself, is it really meaningful or meaningless? And so what I will say is, at the end of the day, the truth is, it's all meaningless. So play.